I work as a police officer. I have been for a while now. I live in Northern Europe. One evening, my partner and I were patrolling a dark little road. It was pretty quiet that night. Maybe one or two vehicles would pass by every 10 minutes or so. We were driving around, and it was in the middle of a snowstorm. We were talking, enjoying some still steaming coffee we had picked up, when suddenly, something crossed over the middle of the road in front of our vehicle. Something tall, furry, with a head that resembled a wolf. What really bewildered me beyond that was the fact that it didn't cross on 4 legs. I stopped the car, and my partner asked, "Did you see that?" "Yes, I did," I replied. Was that a person? It looked like it had something in its hands." I shook my head. I didn't really know what to say. "Should we go check it out?" he continued. Being curious and stuck on a shift that was extremely slow, we decided to call it in. We walked toward the woods with our flashlights on and hands on our holsters, ready to draw our weapons at any time. We got pretty deep in. By then we saw blue flashing lights, signaling that the other patrol car had arrived. We were a few hundred meters from the road when we found something. Honestly, I thought it was a tree at first, but then it turned to look at us. I saw its glowing yellow eyes, or maybe it was just reflecting our flashlights, and there was blood on its mouth. It did have something in its arm, a person. It let out a horrifying scream, something that reminded me of a car spinning out of control. We were horrified, confused. We aimed at the creature, who was now beginning to walk away, as if it didn't care about our presence. And before we could shoot, someone else did. One of the backup units who found our patrol car and had followed us out into the woods. It screeched again, dropping the person in its arm and running into the woods. We were dumbfounded and petrified. Soon, I was able to turn around and look back at the officer who had fired. He was shaking. He wasn't blinking, he was horrified too, but more than we had been. The guy who had been dropped was on the ground and unconscious, but other than that, he appeared to be fine. We took him back to a patrol car and called an ambulance. The rest of us could not take our eyes off of the surrounding forest, even though nothing came of it after that. When the guy came to in the hospital, he immediately began to cry, asking where his daughter was. The thing is, I know what he's talking about. A missing person case, in which the little girl had never been found. I don't know what we were dealing with that night. I don't know what happened to the man's poor family, but I will be staying away from those woods.